Yes.
10 British stereotypes that are probably true. Hello, wanderlust travelers and curious minds. Welcome back to the channel. Whether you're planning your next trip to the United Kingdom, you're just obsessed with British culture, or you're one of those who loves diving into the quirks of different countries, today's episode is one you absolutely cannot miss. Now, let's be honest. The British have a reputation. Whether it's the way they sip their tea or how they deal with bad weather, there are plenty of stereotypes floating around about what it means to be British. Some of these, though, might surprise you with just how true they really are. So grab your cup of tea, and maybe a biscuit or two, as we dive into the top 10 British stereotypes that are probably true. Let's go! 10. The British are obsessed with tea. Let's start with a classic. 10 British stereotypes that are probably true wouldn't be complete without this one. The British and their tea, it's almost like they're connected at the soul. Whether it's first thing in the morning or mid-afternoon, tea is more than just a drink. It's a daily ritual. In fact, British people drink about 165 million cups of tea every day. Yes, you heard that right. And don't even think about offering them a cup of coffee when they're in need of a pick-me-up. The ritual of boiling the kettle, carefully selecting the perfect blend, and enjoying a cup of tea with a biscuit is something that's deeply ingrained in the culture. So yes, the British obsession with tea is absolutely true. And no, they will not be switching to coffee anytime soon. 9. The British love their queues. Okay, moving on to another classic British stereotype that's totally spot on. The love of queues. If you've ever been to the UK, you'll know that the British absolutely love a good queue. In fact, it's almost a sport for them. It doesn't matter if it's for a bus, at the supermarket, or even at a concert, you will always find the British lining up in an orderly fashion. And breaking the queue? Well, that's practically a crime. People take their turn very seriously here, and if you dare step out of line, be prepared for a few side eyes and maybe even a bit of muttering. So yes, the British are serious about their queues, and if you're planning on visiting, make sure you know how to line up properly. 8. They have a great sense of humor, but it's dry. Next up, let's talk about humor. If you've ever watched British comedy, you'll know it's different. It's dry, it's sarcastic, and often it's incredibly subtle. The British sense of humor is one of those stereotypes that is definitely true, and in fact, it's probably one of their greatest treasures. Whether it's the classic wit of Monty Python or the quick quips of The Office, UK, British humor can be hard to get at first. They love their irony, understatement, and sarcasm, which might leave you wondering if they're being serious or just pulling your leg. So yes, the British sense of humor? Absolutely true. And if you're not paying attention, you might just miss it. 7. They are extremely polite. Almost too much. Now, let's talk about something that's actually pretty lovely about the British. Their politeness. Whether it's holding the door open for a stranger or saying sorry, even when they've done nothing wrong, the British are known for their courtesy. In fact, you'll rarely hear a British person raise their voice, even in frustrating situations. Instead, they'll go for the polite way to handle it. "Excuse me? I beg your pardon. And would you mind terribly?" are common phrases that are used in everyday conversations. While this politeness might seem a bit excessive at first, you'll soon realize it's just a part of the British charm. But don't mistake it for weakness. This politeness can sometimes mask a level of stoicism that's just as firm as any bold expression of frustration. 6. They're always talking about the weather. Ah, the weather. It's the one topic that's guaranteed to come up whenever Brits get together. Whether it's a sunny day or a rainy afternoon, they'll talk about the weather endlessly. The British obsession with weather comes from the fact that the weather in the UK is, well, unpredictable at best. You could start your day with clear skies and end it in a downpour, so they make it a point to discuss it. In fact, it's often considered the safe conversation starter in any social setting. So yes, if you ever find yourself in the UK and struggling to make conversation, just ask about the weather. It'll get the ball rolling. 5. The British love their pubs. If you've ever been to the UK, you've probably spent a few hours in a pub, and you definitely weren't alone. Pubs are a central part of British culture, and the stereotype of Brits loving their local watering hole is absolutely true. Whether it's for a pint of ale after work, a Sunday roast, or just a cozy place to catch up with friends, pubs are the heart and soul of British social life. You'll find them everywhere, from bustling city streets to quiet countryside villages, each one offering a unique atmosphere and a place to unwind. So yes, the British absolutely love their pubs. After all, there's no better way to enjoy the evening than with a pint in hand and good company. 4. The British have a strong sense of tradition. Britain is a country steeped in history and tradition, and the British take pride in their long-standing customs. Whether it's afternoon tea, the changing of the guard, or royal weddings, the British have a sense of tradition that runs deep. You'll find that many Brits have a reverence for their national holidays, like Bonfire Night, Christmas, and of course, the Queen's birthday. And even though the United Kingdom is a modern, forward-thinking nation, their love for history and tradition remains strong. It's almost as if they've mastered the art of blending the old with the new in the most charming way possible. So yes, Britain's sense of tradition is absolutely true, and it's one of the things that make it such a fascinating place to visit. 3. The British are reserved. One of the most famous British stereotypes is that they're reserved and a bit stiff when it comes to emotions. And, well, that's pretty much spot on. While British people may not be as outwardly expressive as people from some other countries, that doesn't mean they're not friendly or kind. It just means you might need to break the ice first before you get to see their more relaxed side. But once they're comfortable with you, they'll open up, share their stories, and show you just how friendly and fun they really are. So, don't be put off by the initial reserve. The British take a little time to warm up, but once they do, you're in for a treat. 2. They take their time at meals, especially dinner. If you're used to quick grab-and-go meals, you might find yourself a bit shocked by the British approach to dining, especially at dinner time. The British love to linger over their meals, taking their time to enjoy the food, the conversation, and the overall experience. Dinner isn't just about eating, it's about socializing, enjoying a few courses and sharing a glass of wine or two. This slow-paced meal is not only a British tradition, but it's also a way to wind down and truly savor the moments with family or friends. So, if you find yourself invited to a British dinner, don't rush through it. Enjoy the conversation and the delicious food. 1. They really do say sorry. A lot. And finally, the #1 British stereotype that is probably true. They really do say sorry all the time. It's almost as if it's part of their DNA. Whether they're bumping into you on the street, taking your seat on the bus, or just passing you in the hallway, a British person will almost certainly apologize. Even if it's not their fault, they'll say sorry, just to smooth things over and keep things polite. It's a little quirk that might seem odd at first, but it's just part of the British charm. It's their way of being considerate and respectful, no matter the situation. And there you have it, 10 British stereotypes that are probably true. From their love of tea to their obsession with politeness, the British definitely have some traits that are hard to ignore. But hey, isn't that what makes them so lovable and fascinating to learn about? Now, I want to know your thoughts. Do you think these British stereotypes are true? Or have you discovered something about the Brits that surprised you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what you think. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.